Hello everyone, in today's video we will be building an application for tomato disease detection. Creating an app like this involves building a machine learning model, but don't worry, we won't dive too deep into that part. To keep the video concise, you can find the entire code for this project on GitHub, but copying and pasting the entire repository might not work seamlessly. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to integrate the Flutter with machine learning model using Flask and PHP as a mediator. Also make sure you have XAMPP and Python installed on your machine if you want to follow along. In this specific project, we are detecting 10 types of tomato diseases. We have used hybrid model combining the Resnet50 and Vit. Check out the description for more detail. Now without wasting any time, let's get started. So for creating this app, we need the data of the disease. Going any further, we need to store all the station inside one list so that it can be accessed from all the screen. Now let's head over to the disease model.dart. So we have created a simple class disease data. So this left part will hold the single instance and this right part will create the single instance. So this line helps in controlling of the creation of instance. Whenever someone tries to create an instance, then the factory constructor, instead of creating the new instance every time when this class is called, it will simply return the previously created instance which was created in the first line, and the third line disease data.internal. It will only allow an instance to create within its class itself. So the external or the other classes cannot create the instance of this class. Now we have created a simple list, and we have created a function initialize disease list which will add value to the list. If it's empty, then we will store all the JSON data inside this list. So we have loaded it and we have stored by using JSON decoder. Also, the main thing is to identify disease, which our backend model will do, but we have to send images. So I have created this function. We take two parameters, one context, another is selected image. If selected image is not null, then only we will send a request to this URL, and this localhost URL is always changing as I have posted my model in the localhost, and the request method is the post request. So the backend is written in such a way that the image should be sent via the byte. So we send image as an byte and we wait for the response. If response is successful, then we will store inside the response body, and response will be a single number between 0 to 9 which will indicate which disease is that. So we have stored response inside the yes variable, and the response will be from 0 to 9 which will indicate the index of the disease. So we will simply select the index and we will pass to the disease title page. So our main that file need a little more code, which is to initialize the disease list. So whenever the app starts, first thing we will do is we will store all the JSON data inside this disease list. So if we tap on the disease, then there's a lot of disease. Now let's go to our home page. Home page simple contain a for card. To create the for card, we have created a widget build up some card. It take parameter And the first one is the icon, the second one is the title, and the third one is the on tap event. So on tapping it, what should be done? Now in center inside the column children, we place the icon and the title. Now let's create the first card, camera, icon camera, camera, and on tapping it, we will navigate to the camera screen. So before that, we have to check for the available camera, and we will navigate to the camera page, providing parameter. Also, our second card is the canary. For that, we will simply navigate to the canary page without passing any parameter. The third one is the diseases. We will simply pass, or we will simply go to the disease page without passing any parameter. The fourth one is the help. So in the help page, there is nothing, and I will not implement it. If I go to help, then there's just on purpose screen. Now let's first implement the disease card. Okay, let's implement the disease page. So if I go to disease page, then we have to list the diseases. So it's very simple. There's a simple card list type in the title. There's the disease title, and on tapping it, we will go to the disease detail page by passing the parameter disease. So it's all from the JSON. We have simply list view builder, which will iterate over each disease and will display the name only. And on selecting the particular disease, we will pass the particular data to the disease detail page. Also, either from the camera or the gallery, when user select the images, then we will get the response from the 0 to 9, and again we will pass it to the disease detail page. So disease detail page can be accessed from 3 screens. One from the diseases, another from the going to camera, clicking picture and identifying disease and going to disease detail page. Another is from the gallery, same process, selecting image from the gallery, going to disease detail page, and third one is from the disease. So let's decorate our disease detail page. This is our disease detail page. So I am going to create a widget so that I don't have to write so much code. As you can see, treatment, prevention, all of these are looking like same. So we can create a simple function, and also for drop down, I have to create a simple function. Perfect. First of all, in app, we have a simple title of disease, and in the body card, inside the children, the first thing, the name of the disease, and after it, we have the animated guts. It is from the package. You can check out on the pop.tech. You can copy paste the entire code, and the one thing you have to do is just to change this value. So in this value, I have provided the disease severity value, and if you go on, then for various diseases, there are various values. So for example, the first one is having 95, so it's showing the extreme value, and also a severity level, decreased. Okay, and we are calling show detail description, cause. Another similar is the treatment, mechanism, affected partner, spreading, impact, disease severity level. So these are all same. Now I'm gonna create a column children, and the first thing I'm gonna write is this parameter itself, title, and I will go to the disease list and extract the selected field. So we have passed the parameter and we are checking the parameter in the disease list, and they have displayed it. Perfect. Now for the symptom and the management, we have called the dropdown, and we have passed the parameter symptom and management. Perfect. Now we are returning the card expansion type, and the first thing we have write is the parameter itself with the column. Now in the second, we will again create our children, and we will simple check to the message list and we paste it. So if you think there is actually no nested loop inside the management, if you look over carefully, it is the special field inside the JSON. I have also defined the \n, which will specify where to go to the next line. So it will automatically go to the next line 1, next line 2, next line 3. So it's that simple. And by doing this, we don't have to iterate to show the drop down. We just have to call the management field. Okay, now we have already done 30 nuts, but there's a simple thing left, that is to show some images and also fetch the image from the internet. So there are two things need to be implemented in this space. The first one, the images. For that, we will simply create a row. In the first, we will show the first image, and in the second, we will show the second image. These are these two images inside the JSON. Also in the related author disease, I have one image. So for that, okay, in the disease JSON, in some disease there are related disease and the image, but in some disease there are no related disease and no related image. For that, we are checking if related author disease is none or not null. So if it's not null, then we are showing the card. Inside it, expansion time, inside the children first, we will name the disease. We have named the disease, and in the second, we will show the image child image.network related disease image filter. So from the related disease image field, we have shown the images. Our disease detail base has been implemented correctly. Now we need to implement camera and the gallery base. So let's go to our gallery base. So we need a function named pickImage to pick image from the gallery. It's from the image picker. You can check out, and pop.f also. You can copy paste mini code from this. So we are defining image source as image source.gallery. Can also define camera, and we are calling the pickImage function if user, and we will store the image. Now if image is not null, then we will store the image of the selected image variable. We will later create that. Okay, we have created the selected image. Also in the gallery page, if selected image is null, then we will display a simple null container, which you can see there's no image, so there's a null container. And if there's image, then we will display it inside the size box. Also below it, there's one icon. This icon which allow user to rechoose the photo, and the second icon to confirm the image. So if image is confirmed, then it will be sent to our backend via send image to this function. And again, this will send to the URL, get response, number between 0 to 9, and again we go to the this database. Here our gallery page is also completed. So we can select image, and in this case the selected image is not null, so it's showing the image. Also user can choose various images. Perfect. Now our gallery page is also implemented correctly, and if we tick, then it will go. So let's implement our camera page. In the home page, on tapping the camera, first of all we check for the available camera. We have passed this as a parameter. So we can see there's a list. So this is basically the 0th and 1 index, indicating the either front or the rear camera. Now we need several functions like dispose, we need to step, take picture, and initialize camera. Also we are defining the controller, camera controller, and is rear camera selected. The value is true by default. Also you can head over to the pop-down dip. You can check out the camera package, and I have copied paste a lot of code from here. Now in dispose, we are disposing the controller. In init state, we are calling the init camera function. So this init camera function will initialize the camera. I have toggled the camera. Perfect. Now this init camera, inside it, camera controller, we have passed the camera description, and we have set our resolution to high. Also in try catch block, first of all, this will wait, and if it's not mounted, or if there's some error, and nothing will happen, and it will simply return. But if it's mounted, then we will just reload the state. So whenever we click the camera, this init state will call the init camera function, and this init camera function will initialize. And once it's mounted, then it will reload the state, and we will get a preview screen like this. Okay. Now on error, we will simply print it. Also, we need a function take picture, so that once we click, get camera controller value is not initialized, return null. If camera is taking picture, it means if camera is idle for just now, it's idle. So we will take nothing, like return null. And if we actually click the picture, then it will await. And if we take a picture, then this event will be fired, and picture will be stored inside the expand picture variable. Okay, now once picture is clicked, we will send that picture to the preview page, so that user can see either the click picture is again to be taken, or is to be confirmed. Okay. On exception, we are going to simply print it. And now, if camera is initialized, then we will show the camera preview with camera controller. Also, this camera controller contains like either the front camera or back camera should be placed. So if it's not initialized, then a simple container with loading indicator, you can see the loading indicator will be shown instead of the preview page. Now below it, there's a simple container with 0.2 height of the mobile height, and in the row there's two icons. First one is the icon for toggling the camera, and second one is to click picture. So the first icon. Now if is rear camera selected value is true, then this icon will be shown, and if it's false, then this icon will be shown. So icon will change. And also on tapping, we don't have to change the icon, we also have to change the camera. So on pressing, we will simply call the set state, and we will toggle the value between each rear camera selected. So only toggling this value will not work. We also have to toggle the camera. So we are toggling between 0 and 1 by comparing the value is rear camera selected. Perfect. Now the second icon is the icon dot circle, and on pressing it, we have to call the function named take picture. So this take picture function, will be called, and if we take a picture, then it will store and will redirect to the preview page. So let's click a picture, and in the preview page, we can see there's an image, there's a redirect button, and there's a confirm button. Okay. Now the first thing is we are going to show the image clicked, and below it, children, there's two icon button. So the first button is icon dot refresh. It will simply pop the context, and I click this, then we will again go to the camera page. And the second button is the confirm button. If we confirm it, then we will send this image to the send image to this function, and via it, again it will go to our backend server, get the response, and based on that response, we will go to the disease detail base. Our application part is totally completed. Now let's see how it interacts with the backend. For interacting with backend, there's one function named send image to disease space, which will interact with our backend code. In this function, the image is being sent to the backend using this URL. I was unable to directly integrate the flask server URL. That's why I have commented this code. If you can do it, then it will be a lot more easier. I was having some problem. That's why I have used a PHP as a mediator. If you head over to my GitHub repo, then you will get all the code. Yes, there is backend code, there is full mobile app code. So I recommend you download the entire repository and place it inside the C drive, XAMPP, htdocs, create a folder named PHP, again create a folder named disease detection, and paste the entire repository inside the disease detection folder. Now open your backend folder inside the VS Code. Here you can see there's a model.pts, which is our model, and this is the main program. So we have to run this. Okay, now it's running on the localhost. We can see the simple interface, and we can choose one image, hit the predict button, and in the terminal we get the corresponding index of the disease. If we again choose another file, then we get the corresponding disease index. Here 7 is printed, so it means target spot is the disease. Now we have to implement this in our application. As I am unable to directly use the Flask server, so that's why I have used the secondary URL, which sent the image first to the index.php file, and then the index.php file will again send to the Flask server. Now we have to get the value for the localhost URL. For it, open the command prompt, type ipconfig, copy the IP before address. It is the localhost URL. You can access it from the laptop and the mobile phone if you are connected on the same network. So let me copy paste the localhost URL in the localhost URL dot. Let us try accessing the localhost. If I copy paste the IP before address, okay, I am unable, and I forgot to mention that the XAMPP need to be installed on your machine. Start the Apache server, then you can access the localhost. and inside the PHP folder we can access all the files and folder. So I am able to access the entire content inside the C drive, XAMPP folder and htdocs. Our XAMPP server is running. Now we can execute any PHP file. So in this case our index.php will be executed. Here we can see ultimately the request is made to our flask server. This index.php is just a mediator. And after the flask server send the response of the number, then it will convert into the integer value and will again send back to our Flutter app. So the response which was printed in the terminal, this PHP will convert into integer value and again will send to the Flutter app, and in the Flutter app we will get that and pass to the detail page. This is it. It's the completion of our backend part. Again, in a nutshell, first of all you have to paste the localhost URL by typing the ipconfig in the command prompt. The first step. And the second step is you have to carefully place the exact index.php URL, which is localhost php deteciton /index.php. When we paste the entire URL in the browser, then we will get no image data received as an error, as there is no image is being sent to that URL. Also, we can access the localhost from the mobile device. You can see my laptop and mobile are connected on the same Wi-Fi. Then I am easily able to access the page. So this is it. Our all backend is configured. Now let's test our application. For that, I am opening my camera and let me go to the browser and let's check. This is the image of the late blight. So let's see if our prediction will be correct or not. Okay, let me take a clear photo. If you try to test it with the photo, like the soft copy photo, then it may not work. But if you try with the actual leaf, then there is a high probability that it will work. So let me again test for this image. This is the image of the early blight disease. So let's see our model can predict or not. So okay, our model has predicted the early blight, and if we see in our Python file, then the one is being printed, which show the early blight disease 0 and 1 index. So that's it for the video. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like, and if you are interested in implementing Google Generative AI, then watch this video.